Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of TV is a Real Mom. I'm your host, Dave, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Katie. Katie, what's happening today?
Not much. I'm alive. I'm here.
You chilling? Just
Chilling.
chilling? Chilling like
Chilling.
Joe? Chilling like Joe with the idol?
Joe's not chilling.
He said he was.
Whatever he's doing at Tribal, he's not chilling.
Yeah, he said he was chilling. He's like, I'm chilling. Y'all figure it out. But
Maybe that's Joe at chill.
yeah, I guess
I doubt
so.
it.
Yeah. So you ready to talk about episode 7 of Heroes, Healers, Hustlers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's talk about it. Why not start with Joe in this tribal council? Um, things aren't looking good for him now, I guess.
No, I don't think it's looking good for many of the healers. I don't know what they could have done to prevent this from happening. It seemed a little bit inevitable. But I don't know that he helped himself by acting the way he did at Tribal Council. But I do think in his defense, he believed he was one of the two targets.
Yeah, no, I mean, what him playing the idol, I have no problem with that because obviously you don't know where they're going to go with it. You can do something crazy and really think like 2 steps ahead and be like, oh yeah, they're going to expect I'll play it on Cole, so they're probably voting for Jessica. But like, how can you expect him to play it that deep? You know, obviously, if he's going to play it, he's going to play it on himself. And I think you have to play it on yourself, like, because what if they do vote for him?
Yeah.
I mean, he goes home with it in his pocket. So
if you've been hearing 2 names all day and one of them's yours and you literally don't know which way they're going, obviously you got to play it for yourself.
Yeah. So there's nothing he could have done. And like you said, the healers, I don't know what else they could have done as a group. They pretty much had 5 votes and they thought of the 2 that maybe could help them out, Ben and Lauren. And it just didn't work out for them. So
yeah,
I mean,
it just
what can you do? What can you do?
5 is not enough, and everybody else didn't want to be with their 5. So I mean, and that's a problem when you win all the time in the beginning. I mean, it's good for you at the time. It's not really good for you long term.
Yeah, it really
it
depends on the relationships, but yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, because Joe and Desi went to a tribal council, but they went to a tribal council that ended with them completely at odds with 2 other people. So of course those 4 weren't going to stick together. They were divided.
Right. Exactly.
Tribal council. So.
It's all about the relationships, and in this case, it's just the fact that the 5 healers were planning on sticking together. And unfortunately, that means the heroes and hustlers are like, hey, let's just outnumber them together, you know? So yeah, things don't look great for Joe going forward, but I mean, I did love him in this tribal council because
he was entertaining.
Yeah, he was just very entertaining. I mean, we don't get people like this, or do we? Do we get some? We get someone like this every season, probably. I don't know.
Say that. Who would be this person last season? Well, last season was weird.
Yeah. Did you listen to Andrea's podcast?
Yeah.
How they talked about how dark it was.
It was a dark season.
A dark season. That's how we'll look back.
It came off that way. To be honest, it came off that way. It didn't come off as fun. Like the season before that came off as fun.
Yeah.
Even though there were deep and sad moments, but still, it came off as completely opposite of Game Changers. But anyway, I don't think you get a Joe every season. We are blessed to have him. I don't want him to go away, but I fear he's probably gone within the next 2 episodes. And I don't, other than finding another idol, I don't know what he can do to stop that. No one's going to want to work with him.
Yeah, I agree. Man,
even the healers are probably going to be like, "See ya, Joe."
Oh, absolutely. Joe really did come across as Tony 3.0 in this, didn't he? Like if you ever questioned whether the comparison was an apt one, I think this episode shows that he definitely has shades of Tony, no question about it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, he's got that Tony something.
That's
something
sort of
or
like he
other.
talks fast, and
Yeah.
once he gets like worked up,
Yeah,
he's
he's keyed up.
dropping quotes like deuces and
Deuces.
all these people here, blah 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 blah. Um, you
That's
know,
all that's all bluster though. It's just them, peacocking around with this idol saying, try to get rid of me. You can't. But in that case, you're supposed to like not actually have to play the idol. That's usually the goal.
yeah, to draw the attention. Well, explain. Sorry, I think I got
No,
confused.
like to scare them enough to not vote for you so you don't need to play that idol and so you can hang on to it for at least another round.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I did you like when Jessica quoted Joe like 3 minutes or 2 minutes later when
What did she
she's
say?
like, well, she just quoted his deuces line like
Did
two
when she
minutes.
actually got voted out?
Right. No. Right before during tribal, she quoted Joe like
It would have been funny if she
deuces.
did it after she got voted out and Jeff snuffed her torch and then she went deuces.
That would have been much better because
That would have been funny.
when she did it, it was kind of like cringe. I cringed a little bit.
I cringed at a lot of things she said in this episode, and I don't
Yeah.
think I'm alone.
Oh yeah. I'm glad we have started this episode of the podcast a day late because if we would have done it yesterday, I would have been just still pissed off that once again I got my winner pick wrong. I'm just
Hey, I just think we should celebrate because this is the first time in a long time that both of our picks have made the merge. So even though they may not last long into the merge, we did okay.
Is that right? It's been a while since we picked well
Since
my,
we
my
both,
I got well, since we both did. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Probably usually one of us does bad and the other one does okay.
maybe.
I
But
also
there have been
felt like
times where we both done bad.
I felt like there was a thing where you're like several times our picks went out back to back, like more than once.
Yeah, I think that's happened before.
I wonder if that's going to happen again because I know with Terry Dietz and Monica they did,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Pete,
Liz and Pete.
Liz and Pete. So I know it's happened at least those 2 times, if not one other time. So that's kind of
It's probably
interesting
going to happen again.
to see if it happens again because that'd be really interesting since we've only done like 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Or how many have we done? 5?
This
4?
is our 5th, I believe.
But yeah, that would be really interesting if it does end up being Joe. That's kind of a weird thing that we do.
It's got a pretty good chance of being Joe.
Yeah, so let's talk about do you want to talk more about tribal or numbers or anything like that?
I mean, I think stuff will come up as we talk, as we continue.
Okay, so yeah, the other person who gets votes in this tribal council is Chrissy. So what do you think about Chrissy's chances moving forward?
I'm not liking the way she's looking. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's really starting to come across a lot more villainous and kind of just
unlikable.
Unlikable, not pleasant. Even just the way she talks, it's not necessarily an edit thing. Like I'm starting to not like her personality almost.
Yeah.
But maybe that is just how edit works. It's like they're that good at just picking those moments to, amplify that aspect of their personality, I guess.
I mean, are they wanting us to view her this way? I mean, or are they just showing what they're given? I don't know.
Yeah, you're just starting to get that sense of she's kind of like stuck up,
Yes.
Yeah. And is that because she's wealthy? Maybe, I don't know. Are all wealthy people stuck up? Probably not, but there's got to be something to that stereotype.
I guess I know she's wealthy, but that's not what it is for me. I don't really know what it is for me. There's no, what it is? It's like a lot of characters we end up liking, they have a way of endearing themselves to you. Like they're funny. Like Lauren has her sass, Ben has his humor, Dr. Mike has his little nerdiness, and everybody has their thing. I can't think of anything she has. She's very cold. She's just game. And even when she's trying to like connect with Ben, like, you're my number one, it's like,
is it sincere? Is it authentic?
Even Ben is like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't come across as authentic necessarily.
Not really. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's just how she is. I'm sure maybe that's just how she is, but
Hmm.
um I don't know.
So
It's
that's maybe
something's
the
not
most
clicking.
endearing thing you could say about her is her her intelligence and her savviness at the game. I guess you
Yeah.
could call that endearing, and that has been what has that is what has been endearing about her so far this season is her gameplay and her intelligence. Um, Speaking of her intelligence, what did you think of the Chrissy math situation where
Eye roll.
yeah,
It
basically
was
Jeff.
like Jeff was like, I wonder if anybody could tell me what this number would be. And Chrissy's like, I can. Like, shut up, sit down. First
Yeah,
of
I
all,
mean,
it's like show offy. And second of all, even though it's just math, it still signals to everyone that you're really smart.
yeah, I mean, another part of this whole thing that bothers me though is like how simple that math is. It's really not that hard.
No, it's pretty
And
easy
and
math.
yet everyone like freaks out and is like, sorcery. What is this? What is this
She's
woman?
a math witch. That's what Catie called her.
Yeah, it's just insane to me that you can't multiply 60 seconds times how many minutes and then divide by 2 for 2 seconds
It's hard
and
for
come
some
up with.
people.
I mean, it's pretty simple. And yet somehow, I guess we are forgetting they are starving, but they just had a huge Outback Steakhouse
True.
meal. So they should be able to do simple math, and
They should.
they shouldn't be freaking out that Chrissy can do basic math. You know what
You
I'm
know what
saying?
annoys me too? When she said 1100 and change, I hate that expression. I want to smack people in the face when they say that. So that like didn't help.
Yeah. What about
1100 and change. Shut up, Chrissy.
what about give or take? Are you okay with give or
I'm okay
take
with
as
that. I hate it when they
expressions?
say
Okay.
and change. It's like it's
Yeah.
not change.
It's not change. We're talking about seconds,
We're not
time
doing
here.
a transaction here. Nobody's getting change.
No money is changing hands. We're
No,
talking about
this is
time.
strictly minutes and seconds.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll try to keep that in mind, never to say and change around
I've
you.
never heard you say that. If you had, I probably would have been like, ooh,
You would have slapped me, I'm
I
sure.
wouldn't have slapped you. I don't ever slap you.
I'm sure you've slapped me.
Or
I know
any,
I've
well,
slapped you.
as kids, probably, not
Yeah.
as
I
grown
don't think I've
adults.
slapped you since we've been adults, but
That's good.
yeah, that's good. Um, so yeah, speaking of Outback Steakhouse, you have any thoughts on Outback Steakhouse?
I know when I was watching that, I really wanted some Outback Steakhouse.
I know, isn't it crazy how well that stuff works?
Yeah, works really well. That steak looked delicious. I loved Ben's reaction when he said ribeye. He was like, "Is he gonna say ribeye? Is he gonna say ribeye?" And then he just
Yeah, Ben
flipped
was really
out.
excited about ribeyes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, all the cuts of steak they can get are probably good. You can get T-bones and New York strips and all that stuff, but apparently the ribeye is special to Ben.
it's tender.
Yeah. I thought they were really laying it on quite thick with the advertising. They were doing the whole thing. I used to watch a lot of Biggest Loser,
Mm-hmm.
and they would do this thing in Biggest Loser where, every episode has multiple advertisements built within it where the contestants are given food and the whole segment is just one big advertisement for the food. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what was happening here. You would get interviews of them talking about like
Oh
different
yeah.
contestants describing what they liked about this particular food item. You know what I mean? It was very heavy-handed.
It's a very Big Brother thing. Outback does a thing with Big Brother the last couple years. And yeah, they just talk about Outback. It's they paid for the meal. They got to pay him back somehow.
Yeah. Did you
And
like
I
how
know a lot of people after watching that were like, "Let's go get Outback if that's an option in the town where you live."
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. But yeah, I think it was Joe that was like, he's like, "You guys got lava cake?" Like totally, drops the name of the item, and Jeff is just loaded and ready to go. He's like, "Oh, that world famous lava cake, we got that too." Just
Probst.
it was a lot of advertising.
It was a
Got
lot, but
It was a
I was
little
so
bit
happy for them, like
cringy.
because when they were showing Devin barely moving on the beach, I just felt so bad for them. And then when Jeff was like trying to tease them, like, well, you're not getting a merge feast this year. You could just see like their faces fall.
Yeah,
like,
the anguish.
Because they looked like they were literally not going to make it if they didn't get some food soon.
Yeah, what did you think of that shot with Devin? Do you think they got that with a helicopter or something?
That's a drone shot, my man.
Oh, drones. I didn't think of that. I was like,
Yeah, that's a
duh. Yeah,
drone.
that makes so much sense now because I was like, how are they doing did they bring a crane out there? Like just
Nope, they had a drone.
Like Devin's been lying on the ground so long. They're like
That was so awesome. I was like, it reminded me of Lost a little bit.
That is kind of what's cool about drones. One of the positive aspects we can start in our television shows like this, we can start getting more. It's just easier to get shots like that. You know?
Yeah, we had at the park I work at, we had an event last month, and for the last night, we had a drone. Somehow we got access to a drone, so we took all this video and stuff of the cars lined up and all that stuff. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool. Scary. The scary part is like the weapon side of drones. Like that's freaky.
Or the spying.
Yeah, it's spying.
All of a sudden, a drone's just in front of you. It's like, why?
Yeah. So, but we'll just keep pushing that out.
You know what
minds.
else drones are for? Delivering
that?
milk is what they're known for.
What is that from? That's from something.
That's from the first episode of Millennials versus Gen X.
Who says
Where
that?
Paul was talking about here millennials with their drones delivering.
Oh yeah, nice. I totally forgot about that. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I always think of that when I hear about drones. I always think of that.
Getting their milk delivered by drones.
Yes, because that's the cornerstone of being a millennial is milk delivered, first of all, but milk delivered by drone.
Yeah, millennials are so lazy they can't even go to the store to get their own milk. I guarantee we already used that. I already said that once in that podcast for that episode. I bet I said that.
A year goes by and you don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fine.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, damn, they were so hungry on that beach. They're eating sugar for breakfast. I mean,
oh yeah,
so
I just felt so bad for him.
And yeah, we have so much of that in this episode of that's kind of how the episode starts off is, well, besides Chrissy being really cocky, which we have plenty of that in this episode too.
There were a lot of people being cocky in this episode, though, to be fair.
Yeah, there's some themes going on in this episode. And one of the biggest ones is Ben. Ben hates Cole for being...
Really, really hates Cole.
He really hates Cole for his food habits. And that kind of becomes the whole thing, pretty much, doesn't it? I mean, Ben had no desire whatsoever to stick with Cole and the Yawa. Well, I mean... No, I don't think he ever considered sticking with the Yawa 5.
I don't think so either.
I think he had
to convince Lauren, but I think he did that.
She felt almost as strongly that she wanted to stick with the Yawa 5.
Yeah.
And
I would like some insight onto, like, does she view Ben as her number one? Because she went with Ben. But maybe she went with Ben because she saw that's clearly where the numbers were. And if she were to stick with Yawa, it would be split down the middle. And that's, who wants to go to Rocks? So... I'm interested to see where she will go from here because I think there's room to maneuver in that group, but I don't think she's anywhere near the top of that group.
Absolutely not. No. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of who, if anyone else, is Lauren. Does Lauren consider her number one ally? And there's no one else there. I think she feels that way about, other than maybe Ryan, but I don't think she gets along with Ryan as well as Ben, and I don't think she trusts Ryan as well as Ben, even though they started on the same tribe. So the only person left is Ben. That's like
the vibe I get from Ben in this episode too is that, and maybe it's because he just wants to work with Chrissy in secret, but I feel like he's more with Lauren than with Chrissy. I felt like he was annoyed by Chrissy. Maybe it's just because I was annoyed by Chrissy and therefore I was projecting. But I mean, how did you read that?
That's a really good question. I think that Ben for now is still like, he considers Chrissy one of his numbers, but in his mind, it's not like we're together. It's like I got her. That's how he sees it. I got Chrissy.
But she's viewing him as her number one, which she said in front of everybody.
When did she say that? What did she say?
She said that at the feast. Did she not?
Was she drinking? Because she's of everyone, she seemed the drunkest. She seemed like because she couldn't keep it under wraps, and that's I completely agree with what you just said that that Ben was annoyed with her.
Yeah.
I totally saw that. He's like, stop it. It's like not
You
here.
can't hear
Like shut
me.
your yap. Like we can't talk openly about the
Yeah.
game. He's like, they're listening to us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he was super annoyed with her. And I think if she was drinking, I think
I think everybody was drinking. I guess I
they
don't
were
know.
all, I mean, big ass beers. Holy
Yeah.
cow. The
Even those
size of those
beers look
things.
good. I must have just been like really hungry that night or something. So I was
Yeah.
like,
I
I
mean,
want all of it.
but they're starving and like drinking a beer that big. I'm surprised more of them weren't just blowing their strategy out loud, like
Yeah, because the first thing they showed was Devin taking a big sip of beer when, a couple
he
scenes
slammed
ago, we
it.
saw him just eating sugar. And I'm like, how quick must that beer have gone to his head?
Yeah.
No wonder he was talking so much.
Yeah, so yeah, Chrissy, not good what she was doing there. Ben was totally annoyed by it. Yeah,
Well, according to the edit, he was even considering, voting her out because that's who his group wanted out. But I think that may have played a role in him not going with them, is that he didn't want to get rid of her.
yeah, no, I think so too. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he wanted to go against Cole more than anything. He wanted to go against Cole in whatever, however that looked. You know what I mean?
And yet Cole was still there.
There he is. Yeah. Do you feel like Jessica is sort of a victim of Cole in a way?
I feel she did it to herself.
Yeah,
I mean,
she has someone up.
in some of her interviews, she's trying to play it off as though he was a great shield for me. But it's like, I think there was a bigger reason why you were sticking with him. Maybe that's a convenient explanation for why you continued to work with him when you really probably shouldn't have. But at the same time, she didn't have a chance to go to tribal council and like figure out like, where she stood and who she should stick with or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when you go that long without going to tribal council, you're missing a key experience of the game that most of the others have already had.
Right. Yeah. She never got a chance to, yeah, like you said, figure out
Mm-hmm.
who she could actually trust.
Yeah,
For sure.
I feel like if Yawa had gone to tribal council, maybe they would have been tighter. Like those three from whatever, the Chrissy Ryan, although was JP in this episode? I don't think so. Um,
Yeah, he really got snubbed on this episode.
there was one part where he was in the episode, and I don't know if anybody noticed this, but when he lost the immunity challenge, he looked like he was gonna Hulk out. Like he was so pissed.
He was
Did
pissed.
you see that?
Yeah.
He was so mad. I was like,
He's
whoa.
a competitive bro. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how much I don't remember how much he was familiar with the show Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he is a big Survivor fan. So to him, all he knows about the show is the competitions. In his mind, it's a physical competition show. So when
Yeah.
him losing in his mind, he's like, I can't believe I lost. But
Mm-hmm.
if he was a fan of the show, he'd know that happens all the time to the big guys. Like these challenges are not all about being big and strong, so
No.
he shouldn't feel bad. He did pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's not winning, then. But
Yeah,
we haven't seen him get that mad at losing tribal challenges. But yeah, he was pissed.
good to see a little emotion out of him.
That's all we saw of him this whole episode.
Because he's carved from granite, of course.
He is.
Okay, let's see. Who do you think was driving the ship as far as Ryan and Devin kind of pulling the different factions? Factions? Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Pulling those together. Who's driving the ship, Ryan or Devin? Is Ryan the man behind the curtain pulling the strings? Or
It
is
seems
Devin?
to me more like Devin.
Yeah, I got that sense too that Devin was the one doing the work in this episode.
At least that's how it came across on the show.
Yeah, do you think it's more likely that Ryan is just purposely not, doing the legwork?
I think he's fading back a little bit, which is good. It was good not to see that much of him this episode. First of all, it gives the haters less to talk about. And second of all, it shows that he's, Chrissy's been at the forefront every episode she's been in. You know what I mean? And I don't know at this point if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It seems like it's kind of a bad thing at this point. But, winners, they know how to fade back for a little bit.
Yeah. As far as looking forward, I feel the same, that I think Chrissy's stock has gone down quite a bit and Ryan's has gone up because, Ryan I don't think anyone's looking at Ryan for a long time. I do think, they're definitely looking at him at 4. I think I've said this before, that he's very much going to have the David Wright thing happening where once they get down to 4 people, he's going out in 4th place, I think.
Well, remember David Wright? They were trying to get rid of him for ever. Remember?
Yeah, but like something always came up.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily an idol either. Sometimes it was just like
Usually
somebody.
It was Hannah.
Yeah, they just decided to vote for somebody else or something, like for
or
whatever
stupid target reason. To Sunday because Sunday is such a threat to be a goat.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, that's what's cool about Survivor, I guess, is little things, little twists can happen even when it seems like the whole season is laid out. Kind of like this one, it seems like the whole season is laid out. Hopefully not completely.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Yeah, I immediately knew Jessica was going home after the one line. That she had that one little confessional where she's like,
she's a queen bee.
Yeah, I feel like queen bee. And I was like, oh, that's it.
That's so then it. This
from
is
that
over.
moment on, I was calling out how it was going to go down. I was like, okay, so Joe is going to play his idol on Cole, and therefore they're voting for Jessica. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious from that point on.
Yeah, I heard when they floated out her name as a plan B, I was like,
well, that was 100% at that point.
Yeah,
100%.
She went from Queen B to Plan B.
Oh,
real quick. Real quick.
So I was very disappointed when she got that confessional.
Yeah, like I said, though, she wasn't the only one who was saying stuff like that this episode.
Yeah, lots of cocky people. I mean, you got Joe.
Yeah.
Joe is
cocky.
Joe is right up there. He gets lots of screen time where he's talking about how great of a strategic player he is.
It was so funny when he was saying, somebody said Joe was like number 1 or 2 for strategy, and he's like, well, yeah, they should be looking at me as number 1 or 2.
Yeah, and yeah, tribal. He's like, I've said it since the beginning. I'm strong. I'm smart, and I'm strategic. Like, so it's like, good. Yeah, tell him how big of a threat you are.
It's not
play your idol.
how you want to play this point in the game.
Not this point. Not when you're about to use your idol and not have one.
Not when there's still 12 people in the game. It's not. It's gonna maybe scare them off for a vote, but
yeah. Granted, he seems to be confident he's going to find an idol at every beach they go to. I don't think anyone's told Joe that they're not going to any more beaches, but yeah, we know that he's not going to find that idol. So yeah, so he's done.
Well, yeah.
Cole finds it. Cole gets it.
You think Cole's gonna get it?
Yeah, he's the one who starts digging for it, and then Chrissy wants to stop him, and she's trying to get it. Then she starts calling down.
It's not gonna help your case.
And she's starting to call down JP to help her, and Ryan comes down to help her, but it looks like Ryan's in the thick of it, and then suddenly he's behind him, like standing there in the preview. So like, no. I think that means Cole throws him off. Like,
oh boy.
I think we might get to see Cole throw Ryan backwards. That'd be pretty funny. I mean, I like Ryan and everything, but that would be funny to see.
Well, he wouldn't be the first one we've seen throw Ryan. JP threw him in one of the challenges.
Oh yeah, like
a rag doll.
I was gonna say like Legolas and Gimli, or no, Aragorn and Gimli.
Aragorn and Gimli.
Yeah.
Although Ryan looks more like an elf, but short. He's like a combination.
He's like Gollum. He's kind of like Gollum.
Yeah, he's more like a hobbit.
Like a hobbit that's been tainted by the ring.
Yeah.
For sure. I do like Ryan, don't get me wrong. It's just like,
so do I.
As these people do so well, I'm such an underdog guy, especially in Survivor. As they start to dominate, I like to knock them down peg, you know?
Yeah. Make sure stay humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay grounded.
Right, exactly. Um, have you ever eaten cinnamon sticks straight up?
No, I don't think that sounds good.
he's I love the way he's explaining that to which guy was he with? I think was he with JP? He's with one of the bros, Devin. He's with
Mhm.
Devin. And he's like, actually, dude, if you just like take a bite, if you take a bite of these cinnamon sticks, they're actually pretty good if you just like eat them.
This guy, when he said 8,000 calories a day is what he's used to eating, I'm like, dude, you had no business coming on this show because
That's
you are
insane.
gonna die. You are gonna die because your body's gonna go into shock from the loss of calories.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably for the best that he like
Goes?
well, yeah, but it stops eating 8,000 calories a day and like
That's
demanding that
like
of his
only
body.
professional athletes do that. I know he's a rock climber, but is he like professional level
He
that
must,
he's
yeah, I mean, he must be, yeah, because I can't see any other reason to eat that many calories, you know?
if you're doing that simply to maintain a physical form for vanity's sake,
Stop it.
GTFO.
Yeah.
I
Stop
don't
it,
want
man.
anything to do with you.
Yeah, I mean, I try to get my, 2,000 calories roughly, that's recommended.
Yeah.
And 4 times that in a day. I mean, maybe if I drink a tub of butter or something,
That's not good calories though. It's got to
but
be the right
that's
kind of
it's the only
calories.
way I can get to 8,000 is if I drink a
No
bunch of
wonder he
butter.
lives in his van. He spends all his money on his damn food.
Yeah, can you imagine his grocery bills, man?
Oh my
Jeez.
God.
It's freaking nuts.
It's
Um,
embarrassing.
yeah, did you like Cole's climbing analogy? Speaking of Cole's climbing.
Whatever. I got bored and stopped listening.
What was it again? Something along the lines of your alliances are like your climbing gear, and
My
if you
alliance
can
is my gear.
you can get to the top, and then you
Bro, you
before
don't
you
have
know it,
enough gear.
your alliances can let you down, and you can fall to the bottom. Yeah, that's what's happened.
That's what happened. Shouldn't have ate
So
those cinnamon sticks. It just goes to show you, you cannot mess with the food. That is like base level Survivor. If you mess with the food, your game is done.
right, food
Like
is
this, make
sensitive.
no mistake, voting Jess out was a shot at Cole, and now they're and the healers, and now they're gonna take them out. You know,
Yeah, he
like
messed up the entire healers tribes
his
game.
game's done. I mean, he
Yeah.
might find an idol and stay an extra week, whatever, but he's done.
Yeah. Speaking of healers potential, um, how do you feel about Desi's game moving forward? She won this immunity challenge. Does that make her a big target now? Does that put her out in front of someone like Joe, or does
No,
that?
I think Joe and Cole are like right on the same level. And then I think you've got Desi just because she is a healer.
And
And
also,
then you've got Dr. Mike, but Dr. Mike has other relationships. He has an idol. He's got roads he can travel. So I
exactly.
think you've got those three. I feel like, so I've read this on Reddit, I think, where Desi's got that edit, that double Thanksgiving episode, you know, where they get rid of two people really quick and a regular. Like she's
Yeah.
got that edit.
And that's right where, yeah, where it's looking things are going for, yeah, the way the story's going. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes perfect
They
sense.
don't, she nailed that immunity challenge, but we just don't ever hear from her.
Right. Yeah. And she does see, she, like, as smart as she is, because she was amazingly intelligent and,
Mm-hmm.
at least sounded intelligent from what I could gather in her preseason interview. But she also has a little bit of that like JP thing going on where she doesn't really pop like
Yeah,
charisma, the charisma side of things on camera. She's not really,
right.
it's not
Yeah.
really working for her. So I think
Yeah, and
that's
other people that are on a tribe with her say she's hard to read, and they say the same thing about JP. And I'm like, they're probably just not doing much strategizing or not telling anyone what they actually are thinking.
right.
And
And I think Desi might have a little bit of like a shy thing going on. Like she's
maybe,
kind of
yeah,
shy.
that too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's on a tribe with, well, she was on a tribe with Joe, and he's going to eat up the screen time. So,
Right. 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 Yeah. Joe was sweating quite a bit in that challenge. That was crazy.
yeah.
Let's see here. What did you think of Cole's attempt to talk to Ben and mend those broken fences or whatever.
I don't know. It was a little bit like when Chrissy went to talk to Rourke. I mean, he was doing it to save his own ass.
Yeah, and it's so transparent,
Yeah.
when
And
it's
it's
that
like
transparent,
it's a little too late, I mean, he's been doing it the whole time apparently. So I will say I've been really hard on Cole since the beginning. But he did this really like very sweet Instagram post about Jessica and how he should have gone home, and the edit portrayed her as, throwing away her game for a showmance, but that's not what she's like and all this stuff. So that was nice of him.
Yeah, that's for him to have the presence of mind to even make a post like that is pretty cool. So good for him.
Yeah, so you know that Jess is not on the jury, right? I was like, after the show, I was looking for her Ponderosa. I was like, okay, the jury has started. But then I thought back and I was like, oh, but Jeff didn't say the first member of our jury. And she's not on the jury. So
is the next boot on the jury?
I would think so. But then you're looking at an 8-person jury and it's almost like they want that tie to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. So maybe, yeah. I'm curious. Did you hear anything in the exit interview about exit interview? Exit interview. Did you hear anything in that interview about Cole and Jessica after the show?
Yeah, they're not a thing.
They're not a thing. Now, can you infer anything about what happens to Cole based on them not being a thing? Does that mean he makes it to jury? Because
I would assume jury starts now, and they got Clellied, just like Clay and Shelly from Big Brother 17. They got separated by the jury phase of the game. So,
and that never gives them a chance to go on like a romantic,
No, like if they had both made jury or they'd both gone on the pre-jury trip, perhaps something would have transpired. But alas, it was not to be.
Right, they get cut in half right at that moment, and thus no relationship comes of it.
It happens a lot. It's pretty cruel, but don't get a showmance on reality TV.
I mean, we've been saying it all damn season, Catie, when we talk about those two.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, just like how bad it was for both of their games. And here it turns out, I mean, it ruined the entire Healers tribe, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know how things could have played out differently if that relationship wasn't there and Cole wasn't such a food freak. But,
if Jess could have, said, look, I'm willing to cut Cole.
Maybe.
And then it'll be the 6 of us. The Yawa.
I still think they would have worried about the idol. I still think they would have worried about the idol and they would have had to vote her or, because Desi, they got Mike locked in and Desi's got the immunity necklace. So I think even if she did that, she's screwed. She's just in a.
Well, they could have approached the other side and been like, look, we all want Cole out. Let's just get him out and figure it out next week.
But that means they have to get Joe on board with that. Because if Joe plays his idol on Cole, it screws up all their plans.
Right. They would have had to get Joe on board. But if that would have instilled trust with Ben and Lauren would have stuck with them. And then they'd have 6.
Yeah. Exactly. If they can get Joe on board with voting out Cole, it's all good. She could save her ass. Yeah. That's it.
That's probably what she should have done.
Yeah, that's all she could have done, I suppose.
Why are you all trying to save Cole? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, why does Joe want to save Cole? I guess because
anybody.
Joe has nobody. I mean, Joe had no real alliance ever in this game. Like he had no title.
Problem.
Nobody trusts him.
Well, apparently he and Jess had a thing in the early Healers tribe, but they got separated.
But I just think that's the kind of player Jess was, which she was good at that. I think she had an alliance with everybody basically.
Yeah.
Which is good. She just got in a really tight spot here, and the whole showmance thing, obviously. Can you give me some thoughts on Lauren?
Still liking Lauren quite a bit. I thought she was, even though I kind of didn't want her to go with, Cole and Jess because, well, I thought it was smart of her to really weigh her options. I was kind of surprised when the votes came out that you know, for some reason I didn't think it through. I was like, oh, Ben and Lauren voted together, but if they hadn't, then you would have had a tie. So yeah, I
Right.
don't know. I think she's weighing her options. She's wants to be loyal to someone, so it looks like she's choosing Ben. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, but I do kind of agree with what you said earlier about as far as where she stands. She is in the dominant alliance, but she's just like not in a good spot once the numbers get whittled down and there
Right.
starts to be the core group versus the bottom liars. She'll definitely, I think
I
she's going to
just read the day when Chrissy is saying, "Okay, it's time to go after Lauren." I
be.
want Ben to be like, "No, bitch, I'm coming
Well,
after you."
that's I think that's what it would take for like Lauren to win the game, I think, is in that crucial moment if she could somehow rally the troops around like, hey, Chrissy's the real threat here, let's get her out. If she sort of spearheads that whole thing, I think Lauren that would look awesome for Lauren. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is very much fan fiction right now. We have no idea where things are going. So
Well, she knows that she's a math witch. She brought it up. So,
sorcery, I say. Um, yeah, I liked Lauren. Lauren had a little line here, something about just like how hard it was.
mhm.
I think she really um got that across, like how tough it is at the merge to like figure out all the different scenarios in your head.
Oh yeah.
I think we always get somebody with a quote like that, but I appreciated her quote on that one.
Yeah, it goes from very straightforward because we were down to three very small tribes where it was very straightforward, and now it's just like seeing that huge group of people at tribal council. It was like, whoa, this is a lot. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Um, so,
12
but it was a
people.
close vote. It was a close vote. Rob said something on one of his podcasts that it has the potential to be a boring couple of weeks, and I think that's probably the case.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him.
But hopefully there's maybe they'll do a double episode just to get through it, you know what I mean? If
Hmm.
that is the case.
Yep. Oh, you don't know if it is double next week?
I don't know. Usually it is the night before Thanksgiving, so I would assume
What is
it will be.
Thanksgiving soon?
Yeah,
Is
it's in
that
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
okay? Jeez, wow, that snuck up quick, didn't it?
It's early this year. Like after
Okay.
Thanksgiving, you have a whole other week in November to go still,
Hmm.
which is weird, but yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else from the episode we should talk about here?
Yeah, well, Jess's final words. Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah. What did she
Where
say
I
again?
felt bad because she was clearly blindsided, just devastated. But she was like, "Who knew a game could crush you? I thought only guys could do that."
Oh, yeah. It's just I don't want to say pathetic, but like
It's like, damn, girl,
it's like,
what
come on now.
what is your deal?
Yeah. Well, I hope she figures it out, man, because
I think this whole watching it back has probably taught her a few things.
yeah, I hope it doesn't beat her down. I hope she uses it as
No,
like a lesson. Like, man, I need to like stand tall, be
mhm,
proud. You know,
yeah,
there's a lot to like about Jessica. You know,
yeah. I would.
a
She's
lot.
one of those people that just gets completely dragged down by her connection to another player, and it just goes to show you, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, and
You're not Robin Amber. There was one Robin Amber.
yeah,
You're not.
stop in general. Stop giving guys so much power.
Yeah,
Like how does she not realize the power she has over men? Like
yeah.
she's the one in control. Look
This
to
was an idiot boy who lives in a car and eats 8,000 calories a day. Like, he was not worth compromising your game and your mind for. You know what I mean?
yeah, look to Parvati as a source of strength and an inspiration.
Yeah. What would Parvati do?
Well, WWPD hashtag.
She
Um,
should have been more like that.
all
What can you
right.
do?
So, shall we get into MVPs for the episode?
Oh boy, yeah, it's gonna be kind of tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
So, like, who did the
who did
right
something
thing
well?
here? Not Joe,
Not
although he did the
Joe.
best he could. I don't
He
hold it
did. I
against
don't.
him.
No, I don't. It was technically a wasted idol, but I think they they showed, what those guys knew was that their names were on the chopping block. And when your
I
name's on the chopping block and you have an idol, you play the idol.
I think maybe you got to give it to Ben because Ben convinced. That's one argument for giving it to Ben is that he convinced Lauren probably to just make it 7-5.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
scenario. Um, Otherwise, an argument against giving it to Ben is that he's not looking as good because he's very cranky lately,
He's
and
a bit cranky.
he's being a little bit boisterous. I don't know.
Yeah. I think
So
he and Lauren still have inroads with Dr. Mike, and I think they need to keep that line of communication open. And I think those three together could get out some stronger players on the other side. Maybe not now, but once they pick off Cole, Joe, and Desi, Dr. Mike's probably not going to be number one on their radar unless he pulls off some insane idol move and everyone's like, "Oh, he's amazing. We need to get him out." I think they still have an opportunity to work with Mike, and that will help Ben and Lauren.
yeah, what do you think? I suppose we do our own MVPs here, so I'll give mine to Devin for.
I was gonna pick Devin.
Okay, I'll pick Penn and you Penn. I'll pick Ben. You can pick Devin.
Okay, I Devin.
I agree with both of them, but why are you picking Devin?
Well, first of all, for the drone shot.
Right, of course.
And I just think he came off looking well in this episode. He was putting in work.
He did the legwork.
He wasn't like overdoing it. He was, socially doing well with everybody. I think he's got potential.
He does.
There's winner upside with Devin.
I do. I can see it. I could totally see it, man.
Can you see the winner package at the finale? And that's the shot they end on, the drone shot.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally see Devin winning. I could see it.
Yeah,
because Ryan is going to
way
towards the end of the game. If Ryan and Devin are there, you got to pick one. They might just be like, "Oh, Ryan's that strategic talker. He's gonna talk his way out of it."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I could see Devin getting through. Behind Ryan.
I thought a lot of people had a bad episode tonight, and not many tonight. The other night when this was on, not many people had a good episode, but I do think that Devin had a good episode.
Yeah,
although
sure.
I was really concerned about him for a second. I was worried about both him and Ben. I was like, "Shit, is this gonna go, pear-shaped, and Ben and or Devin is gonna go?" I was worried.
I love that saying. Go
pear-shaped. Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I was thinking of another one too.
I think that may have been wrong.
Like one of those funny sayings for go sideways or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so let's get into predictions for next week.
It's easy for me. I think Joe's gone. I think our winner picks are going back to back again.
That's awesome. If I would love that just out of sheer like hilariousness and weirdness.
It's weird.
But I could 100% see that. I do think that Cole is going to be the one to get his hands on that idol. I think he was the one who started digging, so he's going to be in the best position, knowing exactly where it is, having started the digging. And there's going to be people trying to drag him off of the spot while he's digging, such as Chrissy. But he's.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's cheap. I don't like it either. It's not, once again, a terrible look for
not
Chrissy.
A good look.
Not a good look. That is like the saying of the week, I guess. Yeah. Not a good look, but
it's not.
Yeah, I think Cole's going to come out with the idol, and he will probably play it regardless of whether they were gunning for him or not, just to make himself feel safe. Thus, Joe is the one who will end up going out here.
Yeah, Jeff Probst said something. They have a brand new twist coming next week. I don't know if that wrestling scene is the twist or if that's an unrelated idol, but there is a new twist coming next week.
Yeah, I guess maybe it could be something like our first fake out like idol clue, where it's like there's nothing there, just totally screw him over and get his
Well, I
hopes up.
wonder if someone will find the advantage in the nails, and that'll be it.
Well,
Because
I think that's where Cole's gonna find it, and that's why he's
oh,
the first one
oh,
digging.
I was thinking that advantage in the nails was another like use it or lose it type of advantage that she found in the potato chips. But
Yeah, it certainly could be, but my instinct is that it's a clue to the idol that says it's buried under the banner or whatever, and that's how he ends up going there. That's
You're
why
probably right.
That's why he's digging there, because he knows exactly where to dig, you know.
Yeah.
And my thought is like he couldn't find, like, no one would give him a chance to go dig without them being there watching. So he just like went for it. You know, he's like, now or never. So I don't know. That's my predictions for next week, but I completely agree. That's 2 weeks in a row we agree on the boot.
Yeah.
And I would say we were close with Cole, but we didn't.
For our fantasy league, I had Cole picked, and then something made me go back and pick Jess because it just made sense.
I have a theory. Did you see any pictures of Jessica with Allie and Rourke?
I did after the episode was on.
There it is. There it is.
Not before. If I had seen that picture before, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying after? I thought you definitely saw it before.
No. I saw it after the episode was on.
Oh, okay.
It was on the Survivor Reddit.
Okay.
I don't think they would have posted it before.
Really? Yeah. I was
kind of giving it away.
Yeah, when I saw you voted,
Jess spent no time, which I guess she did with Rourke, but not any time with Allie.
When I saw you pick Jessica, I assumed that there was a picture out there beforehand that showed the three of them together, because I was like, no, you knew it.
No, I just had a suspicion.
It was a good thought, because I feel like, the Cole thing was just too straightforward.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. I've been hoping he was going to go home for like 3 weeks now, and at least half of his showmance is gone, so it's a little less. And he's an underdog now, so maybe he'll be a little bit more rootable, especially if he's being freaking attacked. I might have to root for him, but...
Yeah, well, I'm already starting to feel a little cold rooting in me.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bad. Just from the preview alone, I'm like, ooh, damn.
I just have, I can't help myself with the underdog thing.
Yeah.
Just start rooting for him.
Yep, he'll definitely be underdog next week.
Yep. All right, any final thoughts on episode 7 of the season?
No, that's it. We're halfway to the end.
We are halfway through, and we will be picking this up again next week.
Yep.
To talk about episode 8. Tomorrow we will be releasing a Stranger Things episode 2 podcast. Yeah. So be sure to check that out. And that'll do it for this episode of the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at TV is our real mom. Please give us a thumbs up and a subscribe or a comment. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Bye.